Welcome to the world of Sekora.
Hello people, it's Gavin here again from Hologram Productions.
Hey, Paul!
Today we're going to do something slightly different, and we're going to do a breakdown of a melodic deep house track in the style of the label Sekora. Sekora is one of the leading melodic deep house labels in the scene. This bloke here is Wesley Verney. He is the head honcho and the guy who started the whole thing, with multiple signings from artists such as Chris Luno, Lar, MXV and Bound to Divide, among many others. And I do recommend that you check out their content and music on YouTube, because their music is always very, very pleasant and very, very listenable, and it is a label of which I am a very big fan, and I've been checking their stuff out for at least a year and selecting their music for playing out myself, because it's always very, very pleasant and very, very well produced. So I should say at this point that they actually got in contact with me because they wanted me to essentially take a look at a pack of theirs. They sent me a presets pack for Diva, which has a massive amount of really, really fantastic synths to use. So I took it upon myself to explore them, take a listen to the sounds, and with those sounds, build a track, which is the kind of track that Sekora would release. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what some of the sounds are like, because some of these are really, really cool. I mean, some of them are just like immediate inspiration. And the pads are really lush. So I'm just going to give you a quick sneak preview of the track, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So I'll start from the breakdown. So as you can see, there are a lot of really, really lush sounds in there, and I'm going to take my time and break down the sounds, especially the ones where I actually did use the pack and the presets that they sent me, because they were all absolutely slapping. I should actually start with the element that I began with. I actually began with the piano line because Sekora music is very, very piano based. So I came up with a chord progression which I felt would have the feeling of ascending, because I wanted to make a piece of music that would actually make me feel happy, which is why I called the track Into the Light. Something to do with the mood I'm in. Then I added a pluck. Now I will admit that this pluck was actually one that I created using Serum. And I was just playing around with the offbeat sounds just to have something that would complement the piano. Now, because these Diva presets have an awful lot of lush sounds in them, the first one that I used was the Essential 8 lead. And I created an arpeggiator. I didn't create an arpeggiator, I composed it myself. And I was just composing on the key of the track, which was E minor. But then I added a lot of reverb to that. So it just adds a lot of lushness to the mix on top of the two plucks. Now this pluck I made in Serum, and this is another pluck that I made in Serum. They're both basically sawtooth based plucks. The preset I think I was happiest with was actually the Lead Essential 8 preset, which has this really airy, almost 80s synth quality to it, which I put in the breakdown. It just sounds very, very alive, and it's even more alive whenever you run it through Valhalla Supermassive. The preset I'm using is C-Beams. So that in combination with everything in the first breakdown. So it sounds really, really fabulous. The other preset I absolutely loved was the Atlantis bass, which is a really, really dense and thick bass. And I created a offbeat pluck sound. And you can see that it just has a really, really wide spread, and it sounds really, really good. Even on laptop speakers and phones, this bass sounds absolutely fabulous. I think all I did was I turned off the plate and the rotary, which makes it sound fantastic, but you need to keep it in mono. Now underneath that, I could have used a Diva preset, but I just said use it my usual wavetable respace, but I just cut off all of the subs, so therefore they don't conflict with each other, so both together. So you get that mid-level spread. In combination with the lead sounds, they sound like this. And also, because the sounds are so lush, I knew that I needed a pad to go with it, so therefore I created a pad using Pad Essential 6. These are the same chords for the piano. Listen to how the pad swells. Fabulous. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to fill out the gaps in the track in order to just add just a more detail, because the devil is in the detail, and I just thought that there's so much really, really cool stuff on all the Diva presets, so I just re-recorded me playing around with all of the presets I could, and then I created this big long audio sausage. And making sure everything is in key, so therefore the MIDI is in key. So all of this is in key. So at strategic points throughout the track, when I feel that the track just needed that little bit more, I found individual slices that I thought sounded really, really nice. And I ran it through reverb, and then I sidechained it. I thought that sounded nice. I also quantized it and moved around some of the transients. And in the breakdown, there's this really cool thing where I looped a segment of it and then slowly started opening the filter. So you get this happy accident which turns into a riser. Just going to take a quick look at the drums, actually. I use a lot of Bound to Divide stuff. Incidentally, if you are not subscribed to his channel, subscribe to Basic Waves and subscribe to Bound to Divide. The guy is a beast. So I just thought that this is a really, really cool kick currents, but then I also added a high layer to it, just so that it would basically come out in the mix. And I found myself a nice short clap, which is layered with two claps, a white clap and a Vengeance Pack clap. Because I thought it'd be nice and clear and short, and it would cut through. There's another loop here. The other thing I did was I added a selection of offbeat toms. This is my own rack. The hi-hats. Really, really bright shaker. I think that's from Bound to Divide's pack as well. Or it could be from Out of the Loop, I'm not sure. Then another shaker, that's just standard Ableton with the vocoder on it. So all together. But I wanted more details, so therefore I have a textures group. Now I made these myself. This is a Foley of Elastic Band, just me playing around with Elastic Band. And another texture here, which I think, I just put in a random deep house track and then just found a bunch of random drum hits. I think this is my favorite one. This is a Foley that I recorded, which is just me basically recording the inside of my piano. Putting the Haas effect on it and then playing around with the filter so there's movement. All together. Oh yeah, and the bongos. Bunch of other loops, another Basic Waves loops. Again, subscribe to Basic Waves. They are kick-ass and reliable. What I did was I decided to record my appallingly terrible singing voice. But I have it sidechained to the gate, fret again / bicep style. And the sidechain is up here. So I just created that rhythm. On the vocal it has the following effect. And running it through chorus and reverb and echo. And that happens throughout various different parts of the track, so it's got that really, really cool stuttery quality. In terms of the effects, because this is Sekora and we know that Wesley loves his nature, there are 2 layers here. One nature sound in the forest, wind in the trees, and the other is another one with bird song. So therefore you have these pumping away. Let's have a quick listen to the track. Okay, so lush, melodic, intimate and epic and guaranteed to get people's hands up in the air and feeling good. This track does make me smile, I'm not going to lie. So there you have it, guys, utilising the really, really cool and lush presets from the Diva Pack provided by Sekora. I put together this track, which is really lush and epic, and frankly, I'm a big fan of it, and I very, very strongly recommend that you pick this up. It's actually very, very good value. The link is in the description to pick it up. It is going to up your game making this kind of music almost immediately, and I say that sincerely because I'm actually quite impressed with some of these sounds. I found them to actually be quite emotive in the way that this music really, really needs to be. So that's it for now, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.